Thank you. Mr. Greff raises a very important implication of the technologies described by Professor Kaku, and that as technology advances, we're able to do more with less. This is going to have a profound impact on the labor force and indeed replace potentially many, many jobs. If we could now hear your thoughts, Mr. Ma, on the impact of automation and technology on the labor force, is this something people should be scared about, or is there opportunity for us all there?
Yeah, thank you. I noticed a lot of people talking about the new technology is going to replace a lot of jobs, and people start to fear and worry. It is okay to worry, it is okay to fear, but do not worry too much and fear too much. And I never worry about the things the prime ministers worry about. I never worry about things the scientists worry about. I have enough headaches, so I just worry about myself. To solve your own problem, think about your future, your business future, your career is probably more efficient. People worry about the future because they lack of confidence and lack of the imagination for the future. I think that we don't have solution for tomorrow, but there is solution for tomorrow. You don't have this solution, somebody has. Trust our young people and trust the people. We got 7 billion people, they are smart enough. Our kids will be smart enough to solve all these problems. And the second thing is that in the past centuries we make people like a machine, and in the future, especially today, we'll make machine like a people. But in the end, machine should be machine like, people should people like. And people should have confidence that we people have belief, we have religion, we have value, which machine does not have. And I don't believe the machine is going to take away man's job. And every technology revolution, the third technology revolution we had, the first technology revolution killed a lot of jobs, created even more jobs. Second technology revolution killed a lot of jobs and created more jobs. We are going to create more jobs. This is for sure. And you have to worry about yourself. Don't worry about the other part of the prime minister, president, they can worry about it. The second thing is I believe that most of people, they see it and then believe it. Very few people, they believe it and then they see it. These are the people called leaders. So if you want to be successful, you want to be a billionaire, you have to believe it. And then you will see the future. So I think in the next 30 years, by the way, I don't think next 50 years, we should account for next 30 years. We don't have 50 years, only 30s. Next 30 years, internet is going to be as important as electricity. Internet is more important than oil. So I think internet, the DT technology, the digital technology, or what you call the data technology, is going to be the solution to solve the problem of inclusiveness, sustainable, and happy and healthy. I think today the world economy is facing the challenge of inclusiveness, right? The whole world globalization is controlled by 60,000 big companies. Most of the small, medium-sized companies, young people, they don't have the chance. But internet may be the solution. DT is the solution. 80% of the business in next 30 years will be on the internet. 80% of the business will be global. Whether you're a small business or big business, you have to be a globalized business company. So I think the world does not only need a G20, we need a G200. The world does not need a B220, we need a B200. And in the future, there will be no e-commerce. It's called e-business. Every business will be in the future will be no made in China, no made in America. There will be no made in Russia. It's made in internet. You might design here, manufacture, and sell there. So we have to think about. And people say manufacturing is going to make jobs. No, manufacturing is not going to create jobs. Manufacturing is going to be created by artificial intelligence, by machines. So service industry is going to make a lot of jobs. So these are the things that are going to happening, and I'm very optimistic. I think somebody will have the solution. The only thing I worry about is education. I agree with the Prime Minister. Education. We are okay. People sitting in this room, next 30 years, we are okay. But think about our kids. If we teach our kids the same way we taught in the last 100 years, our kids will have problems. So machine is going to be smarter than us, no matter what. right? You can never compete who's smart, just like you can never compete with a car who runs faster. Machine will be smarter. But if we teach our kids how to memorize, how to calculate faster, they are going to have no jobs. So how should we teach our kids?
Thank you.
We should teach the kids in a different way. And by the way, finally, to be successful, to teach our kids, we should teach our kids to learn to the EQ, IQ, and LQ.
Thank you, Mr. Ma.
And LQ is Q of love. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have time for one question which I'll ask all of you before we move to the next panel. It's quite clear that cooperation is extremely important in this context. Could you each just very briefly respond? What's the best way to facilitate cooperation moving forward? Very short answer, please.
Yeah, cooperate with government. Government should not think about creating more rules and laws for business.
Less laws and less rules. Mr. Greff.
I think in this world, so we're not able to keep up with things. It's important for the government to lag a little bit behind. So they should lag a little bit behind to give more room for businesses and regulate it once if things are clear and understandable. So the government, like Jack said, you should have it in your imagination. They should have this idea before they start regulating. So they should get the understanding first.
More imagination. Professor Kaku, what's the single most important thing we can do to facilitate cooperation?
The tendency is to cut the pie thinner and thinner. You rob Peter to pay Paul, a zero-sum game. That's not how a physicist looks at the economy. We see a bigger pie. Because where does wealth come from? From the steam engine to electricity to computers. It comes from science and technology. That's ultimately where wealth comes from. So it's not a zero-sum game. It's a win-win situation. And that's why people will cooperate, because they see that if they benefit, then everybody benefits as well, because the pie gets bigger.
Thank you, Professor Kaku. Thank you, Mr. Greff. Thank you, Mr. Ma.